Well, good morning, everyone. How are you? I'm well. For those that don't know me, I'm Ted O'Brien, the Executive Director, and got a little light crowd today. A little cold outside. Yeah, a little snowy. Happy Halloween, everyone. Just before we begin, I just wanted to ask if anybody knows, after Halloween, where do ghosts go on vacation? Anyone? Anyone? Malibu. I'll be here at 3 o'clock. Okay. No, some really great news, guys and ladies. We have, we still have so much work in progress here. I just want to let you know that some of the things that we've just recently completed that I hope you're all able to enjoy. Some things that we're also working on, so that you know that you will be able to enjoy those things as well. I know early on there was a request for a new computer to be installed. I think we just got that not long ago. So we have an additional computer next to the library.
It is being put out this week.
Being put out this week, okay, so we were able to get that acquired, and we had to get obviously some filters put on it to make sure that you're safe. We do encourage anybody that uses any kind of public computer for your personal things. Please be careful with that. Opening up your email, not signing out, leaves you very vulnerable. Opening up, bank account information, extremely vulnerable. Never save a password or user ID on a public computer. Okay, these are all very important things to just remember. We're not responsible for any kind of things that happen there, but we just certainly want to make sure that you're protecting yourselves and understand that technology, is a great thing, but it can also lead to some mean people out there wanting to do some mean things. Okay, so I'm not saying anybody here is mean or anything like that, but access can be computers can be accessed anywhere throughout the world. Okay, just be aware of that. All right. Some of you may have waved at some people in your window, depending on what floor you're at yesterday. So we weren't sure whether we could get this fit in or not this year. I know we had window cleaning earlier this year. It's been at the request of many people that, hey, could we get them cleaned again? We were able to get that, last minute, so we weren't able to get a memo out. I apologize for that. If hopefully everybody was decent, nobody was caught in a, awkward situation. I certainly hope not. But the windows are clean. We are also bringing on another contractor to clean the windows in the gym, as well as inside of the dining room, as well as the pool inside and out as well. So hopefully we can get that done before the weather turns, because obviously if it's freezing outside, they won't be able to clean the windows outside either. So dining room, many of you have been aware that we've made some recent changes there. We just recently had a pretty spectacular brunch. I've heard a lot of great responses from that. One of the things that I've listened to a lot of feedback, and certainly I know changing hours, changing seatings, all of those things might be difficult for some. But a lot of the feedback that I got was particularly within the dining room seating for dinner was the assigned tables, albeit may have been very good for some people. It wasn't fair for a lot of others. Okay, so you may have been assigned a table that was right next to the window, great view. You got real comfortable with everybody you were with, which is great. That shouldn't change as it relates to who you're with. But one of the things is that others had mentioned that it wasn't fair that they had to sit over here at this table when they'd like to change it up a little bit. So your times are still your times if that's what you want, and if that table that you're at is available, for your dining experience where you sat at before, and you can be seated there, great. If not, you know, you might have to sit at another table, but it shouldn't change the service. Well, it actually should change the service, because what that allows us to do on an operational perspective is to be able to be a lot more strategic, okay? You know, when we have people that are seated at certain areas or overwhelming in a particular section that's assigned to a particular server, it may cause delays. So it allows us to really be strategic as to how we seat people so that your service can be there, so that we can execute appropriately and provide the best hospitality and service possible. Still a lot of things that we're working on in the dining room. The brunch is something that you know, we had once before, and we were doing it every Sunday. What that does allow us to do also is to really do a deep clean in the kitchen, okay? We really need to make sure that the kitchen is clean, right, and sanitary in order to make sure that we're providing the best food possible for everyone here. So that's one of the things that, you know, I think, you know, as we move forward and, you know, keep going forward with these things, we're going to make some tweaks and modifications based on your feedback, things that you liked, things that, you know, maybe you didn't like, and hopefully, you know, we can continue to move forward with it. TJ will not be attending today, so I'm going to actually share a couple of things with him, so that you guys are all aware. The filters, air filters in each one of your apartments, we're about 25% complete so far. You know, we are a little undermanned in the maintenance department, but we are strategically making sure that we get all of those things done as quickly as possible. I am actually going to probably request that I have a blitz done, you know, bringing other maintenance people from other communities so that we can maybe get that expedited a little faster here within this next month. But that's going to happen soon, and trust me, if it is, you know, a dire situation for you and you absolutely need that filter changed now, please let us know. Call the front desk. We do have work orders in there, and there's plenty of them, trust me. So we are prioritizing those orders in a way where we want to make sure that you know, the emergency and urgent orders are addressed immediately. Pool, some of those that are aqua people, I don't know, I'm not a big swimmer, but, you know, I know some of you love it. We are going to be, it is down right now, you know, with us losing Kevin. Everybody remember Kevin? Yeah, he's been here for quite a while. But so he moved on to some other greater things, and he had a lot of knowledge of that pool, and we've lost that knowledge, unfortunately. So we are looking at bringing on an outside contractor to help us make sure that you know, the chemicals are balanced appropriately in that pool. It's heated the appropriate temperature so that you know, everything is stable in there. Right now, the pool is closed. We are doing what we call a shock treatment in the pool. So it is basically a lot of chemicals to kill whatever bacteria might be causing any kind of, you know, algae or other growth. We don't want that to happen in there, so that we can make sure that it is safe for all of you to use. That's going to be coming here soon, so hopefully within the next day or two, I think we should have the pool open again. And it's exciting. I mean, we've got some exciting things. I think, you know, we are looking forward into 2024 right now. You know, we currently have 2 buses here. The big bus, our lease does expire at the end of this year. We're trying to figure out what that means and, you know, how quickly we can get another replacement in. You know, Molly did request for a larger bus, so we're going to see if we can tee that up and get a bigger bus here, you know, one that has a capacity of 24 versus 18. And, you know, if we can get that, great. You know, it's just a matter of, you know, there is a bus shortage, believe it or not, in the country. So right now, just to replace the existing bus will take about 6 to 8 months, which is a long time, you know. So so we're still looking into options, and, you know, we will still have the small bus. I think that lease expires in June of next year, or sometime midsummer or late spring. So we'll try to be more proactive on that as well. We're also listing out a lot of other projects that, you know, we'd like to probably try to tackle if the funding is there and we have the money to do it. So just a lot of things on the docket, gang. Again, you know, it's a joy to be here. Really enjoy, you know, getting to know each one of you. Hopefully I see a lot of your faces. You know, I try to stop and touch tables in the morning during breakfast for those that like to get up early and eat breakfast. It's a joy to see you. But what do you think about this weather? It was like 80 degrees last week, and it's
Exciting.
snowing now. So everybody have your parkas ready? So very good, very good. Any questions for me? Yes, please.
Can you go over that bus thing again? Because what I thought I heard you say is basically pretty soon we're only going to have the small bus.
No, that isn't what I said, but that's a great question. So the question was, can I go over the bus again? Our current, so we have two buses. We have a large bus and we have a smaller bus. The current bus, the lease expires in December. We're looking to get that extended, and we're looking to replace that bus with a larger bus if we can, because that has a capacity of 18 seats. The bus that we'd like to get would be one that has a capacity of 24 if possible. If we were to replace it apples to apples with the exact same kind of bus, the time frame of replacing that is going to be 6 to 8 months. So we might be stuck with it for a little while. So, great question. Any other questions? For everyone to know, I am colorblind, so I think I shared this with a few at breakfast this morning. You know, so that being said, you know, if I am coordinated, it's because my wife is a great person. You know, and if I'm not coordinated, it's one of two things. Either she wasn't home when I left for work, or I got into an argument the night before and she's getting back at me. But no, folks. Oh, yes, go right ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Didn't want to interrupt you.
No, go right ahead, please.
Okay, well, first, I walked in late, so maybe you said this already. You were talking about the weather. I'm wondering about the weather in this room. It seems to be either very hot or very cold, as it is. It's not as cold today as it was yesterday.
Yeah.
But I know that this whole, the heating of the building is rather strange, which I don't understand.
Yeah. I think, well, the comment is that, you know, this particular room and maybe some other larger volume rooms like the dining room downstairs or the great areas,
This whole floor, though.
this whole floor, you know, gets rather cool or it can be very hot. In this time of year, and spring are probably the most challenging times to keep a constant temperature. And that's primarily a result of the fluctuating temperatures outside. We have what we call a two-pipe system in this building. The two pipes either pump in chilled water, which will cool the building down, or it will pump hot water, which will heat the building. When we have spikes in temperatures where it's 80 degrees and we have heat on, there's no way we can cool it. So it naturally would be warmer in here than it would be if we had the chillers on. And vice versa for the chillers. If it's cold and we have the chillers on, you know, we can't heat the community or this particular space or this floor, you know, at the temperature we'd like it. That being said, as we get into these colder days, we'll see more of a balance. There is a tremendous amount of volume of space that, you know, we obviously have to either heat or cool. When we have a drastic fluctuation, it takes about 2 to 3 days for that temperature to balance out so that we can get it to where it needs to be as a constant. And it is a challenge. And
Because the space is too big.
it is a very large space. And, you know, with these pretty drastic, you know, temperature changes that we have on a weekly basis, it does make it a very difficult challenge for us. But we try to anticipate it. So if we look at the weather forecast, you know, we try to look at a 10-day forecast. And if we see that next week it's going to warm up to 79 degrees, well, we try to, a day or two before, lower the boiler's temperature down to where it's not going to impact this too drastically. So, but thank you. That's a great question. Yes.
So did those what looks like heating and cooling under the windows, is that what does this room, or is it something different?
Yeah, that's exactly, those are radiant heat, okay? We also have radiant heat pipes above that will blow. We have blowers that will blow, and we can adjust those blowers. Some we can, some we can't. It's just the nature of the building based on the way it was designed when it was built 36 years ago. So, and if they're not taking out heat when it's really cold, then there's obviously an issue with it. We would have to either bleed it, to make sure that the water is in there or not. So okay. Any other questions? I'm not an engineer, but that's what I know. That's probably the extent of what I know. But all right, folks. Well, I really appreciate your time. It's an honor and a privilege to be your executive director. I have an amazing team here, and they're all leaders in themselves, and it's a gift, to be able to be surrounded with such talented people. So, hope you know and recognize the fact that you've got some great leaders here, you've got some great team members, and we're going to continue to strive to do the best we can to make your home the best home for you and for others to want to be a part of. So, have a great day. Thanks. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Rhoda.
Okay, so this heat,
Rhoda had a question.
the heat that comes up from the floor here, is that the same thing that's by the windows in the dining room that has the plastic covers on them?
So the question was, is the heat that's up here the same as the heat downstairs? And I don't know if it's on the same system.
My question is, there are vents on the floor.
Correct.
So is it the radiant heat or air down there?
Yeah, so the vents, so the question was in the dining room, the vents that are on the floor when you feel the air blowing, it's the same system. So it's a similar system. It's a two-pipe system. We just have blowers that are blowing past those pipes because that space is such a big volume of space. We have to be able to get the air up high as well as low. So yes, to answer your question. You bet. All right, folks, have a great day. I'm going to pass the mic on to the next person. Hopefully they have a better joke than I did. So.
That was a new joke. I never heard it before.
Thank you. The Malibu.
First, I wish I had it.
Hello, I'm Frenchie, otherwise known as Avery Ash, Human Resources Manager. So I haven't been out in the community as much. I have been doing a lot of work behind the scenes with recruiting, trying to get more servers in to serve you. I know in the mornings have been a challenge. I've also been working with helping with schedule writing to help make sure that we are meeting your needs as best as we can. Still a work in progress, but we will hopefully get that straightened up in the coming weeks. Also with beefing up our maintenance department and housekeeping team as well. I missed last month's community meeting, but it's been a really great joy adding Liz back to housekeeping and as well as hiring on Joe in maintenance. Both of them have done a lot of great work in the few weeks that they've been here, and we really look forward to seeing those departments flourish under their leadership. I've also been following up with mandatory training and compliance with the team, making sure that we're up to date with the company required training as well as City of Chicago required training. And I've also been assisting team members and the management team with various needs that they have, helping out with events, schedule writing, signing up for benefits and things like that. So I am going to try to pop up more and see some of your lovely faces. And I'll be at the Halloween social this afternoon, so come say hi to me and the rest of us at our little party. So does anyone have any questions, comments? Awesome. Happy Halloween. Thank you.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Antonio.
Hi, my name is Antonio. I'm the chef with the Breakers. I gotta see our new faces. Something problems or complaints or concerns, just go to the dining room and I gotta show you, okay? I gotta help you with this. The information today is only I got us only a brunch in the 23rd for the Thanksgiving. The hours, the breakfast is at 7:30 to 9 a.m. and the brunch is 11 to 3. He's not having a regular dinner this day. Okay? The other one is the providers. The food providers, I got a Cisco yesterday, the last day. I got a looking for the new provider tomorrow is the US food. It's only it's something is a similar, but it's maybe a few products is changed. Maybe it's a different blender. I don't know. Okay, I gotta see to tomorrow we come with a new provider. Something complaints, concern, or problem with the menus, or complaints, the menu shot is on November 15, 11 a.m. Okay, something questions? No? Yes?
Biscuit last night and veal stew, very nice.
Okay, thank you.
Very good biscuit.
Okay, something I have, last week I got a menu shot. It's only 15 people's participations. Okay, a lot of people coming to the kitchen and the dining room is told me I got complaints, but nobody's participation in the menu shots. I gotta try to make a menu shots every single month. Whatever problems, concerns, complaints, you don't like something, you need participation too. Okay, please. Can you not make it something? Why is something wrong in the food or something wrong with the dining room? I have no idea what's the problem. Okay.
Antonio, the brunch menu left a lot to be understood of what people could do and couldn't do. And there was a lot of confusion amongst the waiters. We were all told you could only order one entree, and then when I ordered an omelet, I asked for cheese and I got all the vegetables in it.
Okay, I gotta explain a little bit with this. This is in the holidays is two meals. This is not a holiday, it's only a regular brunch this time.
Okay.
Okay? For brunch in the holidays, I got it 2 entries for a person.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, some people got 2 entrees.
Yes.
All right. The second that says, it was not explained that when you ordered an omelet, I ordered a cheese omelet, like I said, and I got all the vegetables in it. We need to have a list of the ingredients for the omelets that you're going to do, so that we can circle what we want in the omelet.
Yeah, I'm sorry for this time, this brunch is preparation in 1 week, Sorry for that, but I gotta prepare everything, the ingredients will include for next time, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry for this.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, there seemed to be I enjoyed the brunch, but there seemed to be a bottleneck around ordering an omelet. I had to wait 40 minutes because there were only 2 omelet stations, I guess, or grills. You might have to consider having maybe 4 or a faster turnover of the omelet.
Okay, for next time what happen this situation again is only call me. Okay, but I don't know idea why I'm supposed to respond with these questions. I don't have any problems for that. But it's only for next time, call me immediately. Okay? Something, questions? No? All right, thank you so much.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
I'm Kristen, or the skipper of the SS Minnow. Rest of the crew's downstairs. We'll see. We'll all be at the get together a little bit later. Well, we have had a lot of new people. The word is out about all you wonderful people. You're the biggest attraction we have, I think. And I know that for a fact. So I'm going to tell you some numbers. I've been here for a little over 11 years, and our biggest months, as I think Ted said last time, and we only had, in all those 11 plus years, we only had 3 months over that time that we had 17 move-ins. That was a big deal. It was a very big deal. It only happened 3 times. Normally, you know, it's around 8. A big month would even be 12. But as you know from last month, we had 20, not everybody is here yet. Some people, well, everybody from September. In September, we had 20 apartments that were rented, newly rented. And this month, we have 23. So everybody's obviously wanting to get in just before this cold weather hits. Because even people that had been talking to us about November and December chose to come in October. To be honest, some of these people we already knew were going to be moving in, but they chose to move in earlier. So to get ahead of the snowflakes. Again, I'm going to thank all of you, and it is sincere. You have been so helpful and kind to all of these many, many tours. As evidenced by our tour to move-in ratio is very high. Like very high. Almost everybody who comes for a truly investigative tour and to sample life here, pretty much all of them end up choosing to move to the Breakers. So that is a big thank you to many and all of you. Does anybody have any questions?
You have a projection for September?
December.
Or for November?
Yeah, again, as kind of typical of every year, really right now we have 5 or 6. You know, I wouldn't expect that. We won't be 20, you know, because of the holiday and such. And December there was one December I remember, which was like a big, complete, what do I want to say, you know, unusual time. And that was years ago when we had something like 10. But normally December is more like 6. And January is very low. In some years we've only had 3 new move-ins in January, or 4. And then it picks up. Well, we always have, you know, about 450 apartments. And we always usually have about 10 to 15% that are empty. But that number is going to be much smaller. It'll be more like 8 to 12%. And that's just a matter of, you know, people moving for higher level of care, or to when their daughter gets a new job in California, they follow them. There will be always people that there will be move-outs and such. But again, thank you, and we will see you later this afternoon for Halloween. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Donna Penninkamp. I'm the business office manager. I also oversee the front desk. I just want to thank Kristen and the sales and marketing team. They've made our job very busy. With that said, we are rolling out, and I'm going to speak on behalf of maintenance a little bit right now, just as it impacts the front desk, specifically in terms of work orders. You'll notice when you contact the front desk to place a work order now, they will specifically ask you if maintenance has permission to enter if you're not home. This will also help expedite work orders that are being placed with the front desk if they can enter your apartment, if we know in advance. This eliminates the many trips that they may be making back to your apartment attempting to complete the work order. And they will advise you moving forward that whatever your work order request is may incur a charge. So depending on the work order, you may incur a charge, which has always been the case, but we are going to articulate it, and it will be on the ticket moving forward. And again, I want to encourage anyone that has not enrolled in ACH, separate topic, our automatic payment plan that is available here at the community. I'm going to suggest that as we approach the winter months, making getting out to the bank a little more difficult, you may find that it's a very convenient way of paying your statement on time and without penalty. That's about all I have. Any questions for me? Rich, that arm was going up before I finished my last word.
On the work orders, in the past, I've entered work orders and they got lost. And I noticed what was happening was that they would write it down on a little piece of paper scrap, tear off a scrap, write it down, and put it over for entry later. It's getting lost. Could we have a form that says that they filled out instead of just a scrap of paper, and that they keep a stack of those so that they make sure they get entered into the system?
Sure, so Rich is saying that in the past, he has come to the front desk and requested a work order to be placed, and he's noted that the concierge on staff at the time kind of takes notes, writes it on this informal piece of paper, and then kind of places it off to the side, and he's citing that it's often lost and his work orders aren't entered. And yeah, and then he suggested if there might be a standardized form for the front desk to complete. Good suggestion. We can certainly look into that. The standardized form is in fact in the computer program, but
Getting it from...
Sure, because we all know how busy the front desk is, and you know they're dealing with five things at once. But yeah, we can definitely. I don't think that that's a bad idea. I certainly think it's worth looking into and seeing how we can implement that.
Or if nothing else, just one of those little stickers where you push paper down on the pins, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I love the old school idea.
Get lost.
Yeah, good ideas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Donna,
Yeah.
recently I've been asking them when they put it in the computer, if they could print a copy out for me. Is that okay to do? Because then we have a copy that we put the order in. Otherwise, like Rich said, it gets lost. I mean, I put the same request in sometimes for 2 weeks. I guess it wasn't that important, but I kept putting it in. So if they're putting it in immediately, could they just print out a copy for me?
So Rana is asking whether or not when you all come to the front desk to put in a work order, if you can have a copy. I don't see an obstacle to that. It does dovetail though on what Rich is saying, that sometimes depending on the flow of what's happening at the front desk, as Rich has described, sometimes they'll write it down. I've done the same thing where I have 5 people standing in front of me, so I'm taking notes on your work order and I'm going on to the next person. So that would be the only obstacle, I think, Rana, to providing you with a copy. But we do our best to ensure that we get every work order entered. As you know, we are not robots, and we do make mistakes, but we hopefully don't make that many.
Let's fill out a work.
That's also an idea. Oh, Rich, I'm sorry. Rich suggested to kind of dovetail on his idea of having a standardized work order form, that you all could fill out the work order, the standardized work order form, and then give it to us to enter. So that's also not a bad idea. Rich is full of them today. He's full of good ideas. Joanna?
I think there does need to be some organization for this and other things. But the idea of having a specific, pin or little thing for different, when they take the information. But a standardized work order for the desk should be a little simple. They can fill it out and just put it on as they're manning the desk, and put it in, this is maintenance or this is something else. I think that would help them organize their desk.
So we do streamline the work orders. Once they're entered in the computer, in the software program, yeah, then when they're printed out, they are separated based on departments.
No, I mean on the front desk.
Okay,
No,
sure.
you're the-
But we want to minimize how much paper we have on the front desk to be,
Right, but this would be, something read for maintenance or something.
Mhm.
It would be, when they take the notes, they'd have more of a box to put them in.
Okay.
They can enter them into the system from that box.
yeah, I'm sure there's like 1,000 ways to skin this cat, but we'll for sure take a look at the best possible way that works for the front desk. Yep.
She can have 10 of them, like in 5 minutes, and still getting people
Yeah.
coming in and deliveries
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah. Thanks. Anyone else? Carol?
Yeah, is there any way to indicate with those work orders that they've been received to the person who's putting in the work order, and how long it might take
Mm-hmm.
or something?
Yeah.
I've had a work order in since April, so.
I can't speak, so Carol is asking if there's a way for a resident to be able to track their work order. The short answer to that is no. It's an internal software program that we use for the work orders. You can always contact the front desk to follow up on your work order. Work orders are prioritized. You're referring to a work order that's been in since April. I don't know what that would be, but if you want to, after the meeting, come and see myself and potentially Liz, we can maybe try to triage whatever your work order is. But understand that over the past couple of months, we have been prioritizing work tickets. I know that carpet cleanings have been a low priority, but other work orders have been prioritized. Okay, I'm going to let someone else. Yeah.
Wait, I think she had a question.
I don't know who she is.
Okay, no, here I am. So,
Okay, this is the last one I'm taking on the work orders, just to be clear.
That's fine. So if they put it in the computer, once they put it in the computer, they could print it out, and when the people come around at midnight to check your doors, they could leave you a copy then.
Yeah.
I know it's another tree that may be cut down, I'm sorry.
Right. No, if you want a copy of your work order, then you can always follow back up with the desk. That's what I would say about that.
Oh, because I thought this would be easier.
Yeah.
That's all.
If anyone has any additional comments or questions about work orders, please just come see me after the meeting. Okay, so we're going to move on. And
Excuse me.
Yeah.
One other thing. Since you're representing the office, and I see that Christina is not here, do we have any statement on the COVID situation in the building right now?
as you said, Christina's not here, and I am not. I have no information to answer that.
Can speak to that.
I don't know that anyone here at this moment can speak to that. So-
There's a lot of concern going on, and a lot of situations popping up right now. People do not understand what they're supposed to do if they come down with COVID.
Well, I think that the protocol, if you come down with COVID, has not changed. You are to quarantine in your room. I think the number of days you quarantine may have changed, but you are to quarantine in your room just as you would before. And then you can enter the community. I do believe you're quarantining for 5 days in your home, and then you are permitted to come out with a mask.
I understand that, but Christina has been asking that it be reported to her. She controls that 5 days supposedly, and who comes down to the dining room, et cetera, when they do and who not.
Well,
And at what point in time does our individual responsibility for our health care become a community responsibility with something like COVID?
so I am not prepared to address that.
No.
And I think that everyone can continue to report if they have COVID. That information is being tracked. And that's to the best of my ability to answer that. I think, Rich, I think you have some very good questions, but I don't believe anyone at the meeting right now is prepared.
Christina gave me notes.
Oh, Molly just informed me that Christina gave her notes.
Oh.
So there you have it.
All right.
Okay, all right. We're going to hand it over to Molly then. Timing?
Liz.
Oh, we're handing it over to Liz. I'm always the last to know about these things. All right, thanks everyone.
I'm short. Oops. Hi, good morning, good afternoonish, everyone. How are you? I'm Liz Villalobos. I'm the Director of Housekeeping here at the Breakers. So happy to be back. For the ones that do know me, and for the ones that I have not met, I look forward to meeting you. I have audited all permission slips, all of the housekeeping schedules. Everybody did receive a notice letting you know what day. The time frame is a time frame, so it's 8:15 to 11:59 a.m. if you are in the a.m. time frame. The p.m. time frame is 12 to 4:15ish p.m. We don't have set schedules anymore, as a lot of us don't have permission. And if we say, oh, we'll be there at 10:15, but the resident before you doesn't have permission, we have to keep moving. So we're gonna be at your apartment at that time. So we're just leaving it in kind of limbo-ish, AM or PM. I am, speaking of work orders, going through all the work orders that have been placed in my box. I've got them for as far back as August. I am calling residents to have carpet shampooing done. I've already scheduled for Thursday this week. Nobody wanted tomorrow, so to have carpet shampoos. Is there any questions or concerns for me? Aye.
I have questions about what is a chargeable service, or what can we substitute? For instance, if we want our blinds cleaned, can we substitute a regular cleaning and just have the blinds done? Also, there are still complaints about the vents in the kitchens and in the bathrooms.
Okay, the vents, I can speak to the housekeepers to make sure that they, in the bathroom rather, that they make sure that they dust those weekly when they go to your apartment. The kitchen vents, they are not able to reach. That is, in my past time here, that was done by maintenance because they would have to get up there and get them down. I'm not sure if that's still the same. I'll talk to TJ about that. The blind cleaning. So the first week of the month, so that's gonna be this week or some of next week. I'm very flexible with that. If you would like your windows and blinds done, you can either do it in place of your housekeeping, or there's an extra fee that applies to have it done along with your housekeeping if the housekeeper has enough time frame to do them both. Otherwise, I will have somebody else go up and take care of it, but there is a fee applied to that. I don't have that fee on my disposal right now because, of course, studios have less windows than a 2-bedroom or a 1-bedroom. So there is a little difference, not much of a difference, but there is a little difference in fees for that. But you can have it in place of, so we don't vacuum and make your bed and dust one day, we can do your blinds, things of that nature. We'll work something out. I'm very flexible. I try to work with the residents, as well as assist my team in making sure that they have the time frame to do it in. I can't overwhelm them and have it all done at one time and squeeze it in if they don't have the time.
Go through the front desk for that?
You can make a work order, or you can call me. A work order is always best. So that way they put it in my box and then I can give you a call and set it up. I have been making phone calls today. I do have a temporary gentleman. I don't know if anybody has met him yet, Manuel. He is doing carpet shampoos and projects, tasks for me that need to be done throughout the community, because I am trying to get it back to where it was before. It's been challenging, but I think I'm making some headway now. Any other questions or concerns for me? Thank you, everyone. Happy Halloween to you.
Hello, everyone.
My name is Molly Rodriguez. I am the Director of Resident Programming, but I am going to put on Christina's hat first since there were some questions. Christina unfortunately had a death in her family, and so she is not here right now. So we all send love to her and her family, but she is not here, may not be for a few days, just so you all are aware. But let's start with the questions that were brought up about COVID quarantine. So as an independent living community, it is everybody's responsibility to protect themselves, and masks have been optional. You could wear a mask, you cannot. But since there were a couple people that tested positive for COVID, they were given the directions to quarantine for 5 days and retest after those 5 days. They are supposed to wear a good quality mask for 5 days after that quarantine period. And for those that are still symptomatic or still testing positive, they are asked to stay in their apartment just until they're feeling a little bit better. If they're coughing a lot, to not come out into the community. Once after those initial 5 days of quarantine though, they can come on out in the community with the mask on. If anybody is ever feeling sick or you think you might have COVID, you don't know, Christina does have a couple boxes of tests, and we could help you order tests through Instacart. Shantae and I would be happy to help you, or even set up an appointment at CVS or Walgreens, Mariano's. They still do the testing there too. Our COVID booster clinic, it's on the TV already and we've been telling everybody, but it's Thursday, November 30th. So booster shot day, Thursday, November 30th. It'll be 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So that is the day for our booster shot. Any questions about the COVID stuff so far, Dave?
Not a question, but a statement. I've looked into the question from my own experience a year and a half ago and more recently. There was no protocol for retesting. And the problem is that you can show positive for 90 days after having COVID. So that presents an individual problem, and I think we have to have some confidence in our residents that if they are symptom-free after 5 days, and yes, I can see wearing masks for maybe additional days, but I think to depend on a post-test is very unreliable. Based on the CDC, you can read it in the CDC and in the FDA.
So
that's I think is one of the factors that has created a little bit of issue.
Yep.
With
So
some people this time.
Dave had said that, I don't know if my words came out incorrectly, but he had asked about being retested to be able to leave your apartment. That was not the case. You do not need to retest after 5 days quarantine. Again, those 5 days of quarantine begin on the first onset of symptoms. So if you were around somebody that you found out had COVID, that is not your day one. It's the day one is the first onset of symptoms or the day you test positive. People have been asking for tests to retest themselves. You are not required to retest to leave your apartment, but if you happen to be symptomatic or know that you're testing positive, again, it does come down to individuals at some point too. If you know you're not feeling well, please don't come out into the community. Don't go to bingo, don't go to the party later if you know you're not feeling well, because things could spread so easy, whether it's the flu, a cold, anything of that sort. And so I apologize if my words came out incorrectly. We're not asking you to test after your 5 days, but it's just 5 days initial quarantine and then 5 days of wearing a mask. Yes. Duana?
Your statements there, which I understand, but it brought up a question. After 5 days, and symptom-free, I'm comfortable with going out. But if you still have symptoms, it may not be COVID, but obviously you have something. Now, would delivery of food still be free?
Duana asked if after your 5 days of quarantine, if you still have symptoms, if your food delivery would still be free. I will write that note down. I'm not the one to give the final say.
But
I could
the problem is there, because the last thing I want to do if I'm not feeling well after testing positive, even after 5 days, is go back down to the dining room.
So anybody that is ill ever gets free delivery. So whether that's COVID or flu, anybody who is sick and unwell has been given free delivery. So I don't see why that would change.
So Molly, let me just clarify, that is, it isn't just if you're sick or not feeling well. It has to be reported to Christina, and it's for COVID and flu. It's not just
COVID
if you're
and flu,
not
okay.
feeling well, it's not just if you're whatever. It is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did mean with those symptoms.
So Donna clarified
And
that.
a fever.
Okay,
Intensive
Donna.
fever.
Too many people talking at once.
I'm sorry.
Donna clarified that for COVID or flu reported to Christina, you get free delivery. Thank you, Donna. So if you are still,
While you're quarantining.
yes, while you're quarantining. So then Donna, do you know after those 5 days that they're still symptomatic?
We have to clarify, but
That's what I'm
really
thinking
what
too.
I wanted to clarify was it just is not a blanket.
No, COVID and flu, you get deliveries.
Well, I would. Reported to Christina.
Yes.
Yeah, we report to Christina that the symptoms are still there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Ronna.
Molly, okay, you know, recently there's been a few of us who were positive for COVID. We're more than 5 days out, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm allowed in here because I'm wearing a mask. I have no problem wearing the mask. And we agreed that we would not go into the dining room, I think it's until tomorrow or Thursday. So therefore, we're not going to be eating around you. We're not going to have our mask off around you. I have no desire to eat around you and breathe on you. I'm a pretty responsible person. I would think most of us are. So in that case, I'm not even worried if I'm paying for it or not, because I doubt that I am. And this was agreed upon, right?
Again, I am not Christina. I am just giving the notes that she has given to me.
Can I just ask you to pass something on, Christina? It would be a good time right now to put out a new memo to everybody stating what the rules are, and that Christina needs to be reported when you test positive, and Christina tells you when you can get out of that thing and test negative. No, I've talked to a lot of people. Most people don't know that they have to report that they have COVID to Christina. Really?
So Rich,
It's not in any document anywhere, not described.
Rich just said that he has heard from people that they don't know that they have to report COVID to Christina. I find that a little surprising. It is on the slides on the TV, and it's also been in many memos. But if anybody tests positive for Christina, test positive for COVID, or if you catch the flu, tell Christina. Tell Christina. But if okay. Let's move on now from all of this because it's almost 12 and we still have a lot to get to. So the Hansa Medical Group is starting in the building beginning November 1st. They have done many presentations and many people have signed up for their services. Just a reminder that this is not something that you don't have to sign up right now if you don't want to, but this is a service that'll be continually offered in the building if you decide to sign up later on. And so they will be present in the building and you would be able to sign up anytime. She also said that there is not an RSV vaccine currently scheduled for the breakers for those that have been asking, just for our COVID booster shot. Again, that is November 30th. Any other notes that you would like me to write down to Christina? Questions for her? Okay, then I'm going to move on to programming now. So a couple things about programming. A quick run through of our trips for November. On the 1st, tomorrow, we're going to see Hamilton. On the 8th, we're going to the Museum of Science and Industry. On the 15th, we are going to the Halem Time and Glass Museum. On the 23rd, the opera, The Daughter of the Regiment. And the 29th, we are going out to a brewery. We have some great concerts this month. On Thursday the 9th, we have a Frank Sinatra impersonator. On the 14th, we have a jazz quartet coming in. And on Monday the 20th, we have Anthony Forbes, our pianist, coming back. On Saturday, November 11th, we are having a special Veterans Day ceremony for all the veterans here at the building, and so we would invite you to join us. Talking about the computers in the game room. I know Ted brought it up a little bit, but I'm going to elaborate a little bit more about that. So yesterday in the game room, yesterday or maybe Sunday, a resident had created an account on one of the computers that completely locked it for everybody else. So we had to factory reset the computer, deleting everything, and it took about 4.5 hours to get that computer up and running with a lot of team's time. Please do not ever make an account on the computer. On both of the computers, you just click user and then you hit enter. That is all you need to do. There is no password. You never need to make an account. Along with what Ted was saying, I checked the other computer and there were 2 Amazon accounts logged in. There was an Instacart logged in and there were 7 emails logged in. And so that's a lot of personal information that people could access. We had something happen on Saturday where somebody placed an Instacart order on somebody else's account because somebody left their Instacart logged in. Sign out of everything. It makes it easier for everybody if you just sign out. If you can't remember your passwords or your login, keep a notebook or put it somewhere safe where you can find your passwords to log back in. Okay, so I would also like to just talk about going out to the deck. We have closed and locked the door that goes from the fitness center out to the deck. This happened because people were leaving the door open very often, and it makes it harder to keep the temperature on the 3rd floor at a good temperature. So that door is locked. In case of an emergency, it could always be unlocked, but we ask that you do not use that door. Just to enter the deck over by Shantae's in my office back in this hallway here, that's where all dogs should be taken out anyways. We are also having a problem with people not picking up their dog droppings out on the deck. If anybody has a dog and you go out there to take your dog out, you should be following your dog out to clean up after them. We provide bags. There is a fee that we hope to never have to charge, but if we start finding that somebody particular is not cleaning up after their dog, then there is going to be a fee because other people are then picking up after that dog. Okay, I think that is about it for me. Any questions about programming or transportation? Marian?
Is there any plan for December to go to the Walnut Room?
Yeah, I knew that was going to come up.
Marian asked if in December we are going to the Walnut Room. Shantae, do you remember what day?
December 13th.
Shantae has booked the Walnut Room. I think she did it honestly like 2 months ago for December 13th. She is believing the date is. So our reservations are in. She made them in like August or September. So yes, Walnut Room, December 13th. Other questions about programming or transportation? No? Okay, well I think I'm the last speaker up here, so thank you all for coming to our Halloween community meeting. I'll see you all down at the Halloween social at 1 o'clock.